What's up, Stat Fam? We told you we was coming back with another one. We got LUKA DONCIC just exposed his biggest critic. This is a live reaction. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button, and comment below. Let's get it. Shout out to the Lord. It's big. We back. We thank the Lord for another day. I promise you that. We hope everybody doing good out there. Hope everybody's smiling. Everybody healthy. Don't fake it now. Please do not fake it. Please don't do that. Don't fake it. If you ain't up to the move, if you ain't in the mood for it, please do not fake it. Be real with yourself out here. Thank the Lord for it though. You're going to get through it. Whatever you had going through, it's going to be got through. Shout out to the Lord. I promise you now. Don't forget. Shout out to them real legends. Shout out to them real junkies. The real. We love you to the end. It's big. I promise you that. You already know it's legendary over here. I tell you what though. We thank the Lord for another one. It's big every day. It's big every time I get up here. I gotta make sure I see it. I gotta make sure I let y'all know it's for real. Just know it's legendary though, I tell you that. Oh, everybody doing good out there though. We're gonna get to it early. We ain't gonna waste no time. And shout out to my Mavericks. Them Dallas Mavericks, if you ain't know. 21 years, been a fan. We can lose every game. I told you, I'm gonna be here tomorrow. I promise we can lose every game. Hey. Real fan, man. Shout out to my team. Shout out to my team, man. I'm proud of y'all, for real. That's big. That's big. Job not done, though. But we're going to get it started.
When it comes to foreign-born international players, they rarely get the shine or the credit of their American counterparts. And looking at the major sports networks, there's a big-time bias against guys like Luka, Jokic, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, as those guys specifically aren't the prototypical American superstar or just superstar in general. And while guys like Stephen A. Smith, the Talking Heads, they're bad, what's even worse is the former NBA players who hate these guys with a passion.
You want me to tell you how sorry we think they are? Every European is the last pick in All-Star game. Nobody wants them. Man. Every year, Rudy Goldberg, liars. Joker, liars.
First of all, hold on, wait.
Liars. We don't give a fuck about that. We're liars. I'm so sorry.
I know what they can do. Get rid of all the Europeans.
So you see that, you hear that, and the disdain for guys like Luka, Jokic, and Giannis, I mean, it's definitely there with former NBA players. And these guys completely reject the notion that a foreign-born player, someone like LUKA DONCIC, could be the face of the NBA. And here's the fascinating thing. LUKA DONCIC, age 25, is highly accomplished as an individual, and so far has led two teams to the Western Conference Finals. And despite that, doesn't get face of the NBA buzz. LUKA, since really his second year in the NBA, has been a top 10 player at the worst. And just yesterday, LUKA DONCIC, for the 5th straight year, has made first-team All-NBA. And this year, of course, was the scoring champ, maybe should have won the MVP, and has led Dallas yet again to the Western Conference Finals. And speaking of the West Finals, unlike the 2022 Mavericks, they don't need Luka's 40-point triple-doubles or high-scoring games to even be competitive. I'm not saying Luka isn't a big part of this team, because obviously he is. But this Dallas team, much deeper, and defensively are top-notch. And for Luka specifically, what was the biggest knock on him for years? Well, a great offensive player, the triple-doubles, all that is fantastic. But defensively, he kind of sucks. Now, back 2 years ago, even last year, you could say that and be right. But for the 2024 playoffs, Luka's defense, at minimum, has been average. And I'd argue, been very good, and specifically great, in big-time crucial moments. Take Game 1 versus the Timberwolves. Luka numerous times got in a stance, D'd up, on guys like Mike Conley and McDaniels. and possibly the biggest play of the game, the blocked lob on Rudy Gobert. Luka finally locking in on defense, I think in large part is a credit to Kyrie Irving, as Kyrie, much like Luka, primarily is an offensive superstar, but in this postseason has locked in on defense and made a huge plus for the Dallas Mavericks. And the eye test is one thing, but look at the actual numbers. Luka's defensive stats, pretty damn good. As looking at players shooting against Luka, minimum 15 attempts in the playoffs. Luka's percentage is 41.7%, the 5th lowest of the postseason. And for the Mavericks team as a whole, it's about time people start realizing this team on defense is a top-notch team. And just yesterday before the West Finals started, Austin Rivers, a complete dunce, he said Dallas, quote, is a non-defending team. Now, this dude gets paid to talk basketball, a former NBA player, and has that for Game 1 of the West Finals. Dallas for the past 2 months has the best defense in the league. Like I said earlier, this is not the 2022 Mavericks who need Luka to score 40 points to even be competitive. This Dallas team is a legit deep team that's great on both ends of the floor. Now, look at the offensive side of the ball. Of course, the Kyrie-Luka duo has been special in these playoffs. But my one critique of Kyrie last round versus Thunder, he was kind of passive, giving up looks in favor of teammates getting their shots, which is admirable. But Kyrie Irving, you're a score-first player, go out there, do your thing, get buckets. And the first half versus Minnesota had a game-high 23 points, which is a complete inverse of last series, where he was a second-half player. And then the special thing about Dallas, Kyrie's fantastic in the first half, really the entire game. But Luka in the fourth quarter takes over and brings it home. As out of Dallas' 26 fourth quarter points, Luka had 15 of them. Also 2 steals, 5 of 8 shooting, and knocked down 2 threes. An absolute masterclass by LUKA DONCIC, as well as Kyrie Irving. And the fourth quarter takeover mode that a lot of teams don't have. This team has 2 of those guys who can win you a ball game and bring it home. And looking at Luka's fourth quarter numbers for the entire postseason, 89 points, that ranks second, 33 assists, that's first, 6 steals, also first, 50.8% shooting, and above 40% from 3, with a plus-minus of plus 27, the 9th highest in the playoffs. For Luka's own standards in these playoffs, his shot's been kind of awry, but in the fourth quarters when he needs his shot, needs to be efficient, he comes through time and time again. And Luka's approach in Game 1 from the start, I thought was a pretty brilliant strategy, as early on, getting deep in the paint, trying to draw fouls, floaters, bank shots, layups. Really no jumpers, no mid-range shots, none of that in the first half. Now, in the second half and the fourth quarter, how did he kill Minnesota? The pick and roll, the drop coverage, shots over McDaniels and Gobert. And last series, I was begging Luka, take more mid-range shots. In this game, he attempted 7 and made 4 of them. And nearly all of them were in the pick and roll isolation against drop coverage. I understand Luka likes the 3, likes those deep contested 3s. But that mid-range shot, the in-between game, he's brilliant at that and needs to attack that more. As looking at this year's playoffs, in mid-range shots made, he ranks 3rd, only behind Brunson and SGA, while being 5th in attempts with a percentage of 55.6, the highest among any player who's top 20 in attempts. And if you contrast Luka's fourth quarter play versus the so-called chosen one, Luka in the fourth quarters seized the moment, and the other guy just kind of was passive and allowed Dallas to win. And here's the thing, Minnesota, I thought, they played pretty well, and their role players were downright fantastic. McDaniels 24, Nas Reed 15, even Kyle Anderson was in double figures. For Minnesota to get that bench production, that role player production, and still lose, that's pretty devastating. And add on top of that, Dallas from 3 was an abysmal 6 of 25. Now, of course, every game's different. It's a new game. This game will be history in 24 hours. But those 4 factors being a repeat, I really don't see. And one last thing I will say in this video, I'm making it about 2 a.m. at night, but a lot of the reactions I'm already seeing from someone like Shannon Sharp Gilbert Arenas, it's not that Dallas really won game 1, it was an upset. It's that Minnesota lost this game. We saw the exact same thing in the second round. It wasn't what Denver could do to win. It was what Minnesota could do not to lose. Kind of that funky narrative where it's slanted in one team's favor every single series. And from a marketing perspective, once again, the guy being pushed the future face of the NBA, Adam Silver desperately wants this guy in the NBA Finals. You know who he doesn't want? The Slovenian dude, international superstar, and Kyrie Irving. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.
Never fan for life. B.